You've all seen them, right? The mysterious giant heads staring out from that remote Pacific island. They're on postcards, in movies, everywhere. We call them the Easter Island heads. But what if I told you everything you think you know about them is wrong? What if these aren't just heads at all? Let's travel to one of the most isolated places on Earth, Rapa Nui, or Easter Island. For centuries, these colossal stone faces, known as Moai, have baffled explorers and archaeologists. How did an ancient civilization carve and move statues weighing up to 80 tons, some standing as tall as a 4-story building? And more importantly, why? The common image is just the head and shoulders. It's what we see in most pictures. But in the 1950s, a famous explorer named Thor Heyerdahl led an expedition that started to dig. And what they found was astonishing. Buried beneath the soil, attached to those giant heads, were even bigger bodies. Torsos, arms, and hands resting on their stomachs. These weren't just heads. They were full-bodied statues, some reaching heights of over 33 feet. Decades of soil and sediment had simply buried them up to their necks, creating the famous Easter Island head illusion. So who built these incredible figures? The answer lies with the Rapa Nui people, the indigenous Polynesians who first settled the island around 1200 AD. The Moai are not gods. They are representations of deified ancestors. They were protectors, spiritual guardians watching over their descendants. This is why almost all of them face inland, towards the villages they once oversaw, with their backs to the sea. They weren't looking out for approaching ships. They were looking after their own people. The Moai were carved from volcanic tuff, a compressed volcanic ash found in a single quarry on the island called Rano Raraku. Imagine hundreds of craftsmen, using only stone tools called toki, chipping away at the hard rock, slowly bringing these ancestral figures to life. Once a statue was carved from the rock face, the real challenge began: moving it. How did they transport these multi-ton giants across miles of rugged terrain without wheels, cranes, or large animals? The Rapa Nui have oral traditions that say the Moai walked to their destinations. For a long time, this was dismissed as myth. But recent experiments suggest it might be true. By tying ropes around the head and rocking the statue from side to side, teams of people could shuffle it forward, much like you'd move a heavy refrigerator. It would have been a slow, precarious, but ingenious method. Once a Moai reached its designated spot, it was erected on a stone platform called an ahu. Many were then crowned with a pukao, a separate, cylindrical red stone hat or topknot, which represented a traditional hairstyle worn by high-ranking chiefs. These pukao were quarried from a different volcano and could weigh an extra 12 tons themselves. Putting that on top of a 30-foot statue is another incredible engineering feat. But the story has a somber turn. By the time Europeans arrived in the 18th century, the statue-building era was over. The island's resources had been depleted, leading to internal conflict. Every single Moai that once stood proudly on its ahu had been toppled, likely during these clan wars. The ones we see standing today have been painstakingly re-erected by archaeologists in the 20th century. The quarry at Rano Raraku tells a haunting story of this abrupt end. Nearly 400 Moai remain there, in every stage of creation. Some are barely outlined in the rock, while others are fully carved, lying on their backs, as if waiting for a journey that would never begin. It's a silent, powerful testament to a culture that pushed its limits and a civilization that vanished into mystery. So, the Easter Island heads are not just heads. They are full-bodied ancestral guardians that once walked across the island, were crowned with massive stone topknots, and stood watch over their people. Their story is far more complex and fascinating than just a collection of mysterious faces on a remote island. It's a story of incredible human ingenuity, deep spiritual belief, and a powerful lesson about the balance between ambition and sustainability. What do you think is the most amazing part of the Moai story? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. And if you enjoyed this journey into the past, don't forget to like and subscribe for more mysteries uncovered. See you next time.